We need to talk about how men weaponize food in abusive relationships. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've been counseling women and men who've experienced abuse, as well as those who are perpetrators of abuse and other violent crimes. And one of the things that's been making the rounds, and there's a lot of chitter chatter about online, is how men weaponize food in relationships. Anything from, eating all the food and not saving you any, all of this other kind of stuff. And I'm here to tell you that that is certainly an abuse tactic. In it's one of those abuse tactics where you have to ask yourself, how does he have the audacity, right? And ways in which I've seen this come up, which is why I tell you all, about rescuing men and things like that. And, especially with women who are with men who are not employed or not financially contributing or providing to the home or to you. One of the things that they will do is, the chances are highly likely that you're dealing with someone who's insecure and feels retaliatory, like they need to humble you. And one of the things that they will do is continue to mooch off of your resources and you. They will break your back because that's how parasitic that they will become. So they will move in and not pay anything. So they're already, as far as I'm concerned, weaponizing food because they're not contributing to groceries. They're eating off of your dime, right? So they're eating off of your dime. Not only that, but a lot of them are not, contributing to the well-being of the home. So they're not cleaning, they're not cooking, so they're not engaging in true partnership. What they're doing is they're mooching off of you and your resources, and so they look to you to not only provide but to also cook, clean, and have sex. And so they're essentially looking to you to wait on them hand and foot and to take care of them like mama would do, right? That's what mama does with little boys. Mama cooks and pays and all those kinds of things, right? And so they're that's basically a mama. And some people might call it a mama kink or whatever you want to call it, but it is really abusive in that, like, okay, well, you need to get up and cook after you've worked all day. You need to figure out a way to provide for me, to provide a way for me to eat. So you either need to get up and cook and do all the things that's involved with that, go grocery shopping and everything like that, or you need to take me out to eat. And so there's that aspect of it. But the other aspect of it is like when you're gone at work all day, or when you may want to pack your lunch, or maybe you specifically go out and buy groceries for yourself, for your own well-being, things that you want and things that you need, and he eats it. He eats it and he eats it all, and he's just like, well, that's just too bad. Go out and get some more. And there's no regard for the inconvenience that it places on you, not to mention the fact that, like, he never asked you, hey, is it okay if I consume this? Is that okay? So there is that aspect of it, just sort of gobbling down all the stuff in the refrigerator, and also not being concerned about what all of that entails. Groceries are expensive nowadays. And when someone is living off of your back, off of your dime, they don't have any concern about the money and time that takes to go out and, buy groceries and things like that. So they're going to eat up all your stuff. Not only that, you may have some of his friends over to gobble down all of your stuff to kind of help with that. And before you know it, you're out $200, $300, $400 worth of groceries. And that kind of stuff really adds up. And so he's sitting on his teaster all day, gobbling down all your food with no regard of what all of that entails for you to go out and procure those types of resources. And there's a good chance he's also going to do it out of spite too. Oh, well, you got the money. You got the money, so you can go out and buy stuff. I'm not working, so if you got the money, big baller, big spender, then you can go out and buy some more. So I'm just gonna do what I damn well please, and I'm gonna eat your food, and I'm not gonna have any regard for you. I'm not gonna cook. I'm not going to save you anything. And you could have gone out and bought a full house full of groceries that morning, and you come back home and all of your stuff is gone. And you're just looking like, what in the entire heck? And I got hungry. It was nothing to eat, and you just sort of went through your home. And now you essentially have a grown man child that you are taking care of and rescuing and feeding. Not to mention, if you have children or things like that, food and practices around eating can be weaponized that way. And I've spoken about this before, where men could get angry if you don't fix their plate and serve them first, even before the children. That he should get the bigger portion, but he should also be served first, at home and in public gatherings and things like that. And also the restaurant, feeling that sense of importance. If he's not going to financially contribute, he still wants to feel like he's in control and has the upper hand, and will demand to be the person that is ordering, and or telling you what to eat. And he may also expect you to be spending an egregious amount of money to support whatever he wants to eat. Because it's on your dime, I want steaks tonight. I want to go to Ruth Chris. I want to eat top of the line food, and I'm going to get everything. Ruth Chris, you got to pay for each side and all that kind of stuff. It's overpriced food anyway. But I want to have top of the line food, and I expect you to pay for it. So that's how food can also be weaponized. And no, a crusty, dusty kiss doesn't fix it. A little bit of sex later on that night doesn't and should not fix the fact that he is sitting there looking at you. Now, if you're a cougar and that's your thing, no disrespect to you, do you. I'm talking about women that don't necessarily sign up for this, whether it be that, something happened and their man became unemployed, or it was a bait and switch as soon as that man got into a relationship with them. So, if you have somebody that just if you have someone that just sits on your couch and lays in your bed all day and eats up all your food, and it's not a gremlin, you've got some challenges there, and that person is intentional about what they're doing. They're intentional about making you work harder to feed them and have this expectation that you're going to cook for them. No, they're not going to cook for you. No, they're not going to save any food for you. They don't care if you eat or not. They don't care about your well-being or not. That is most definitely a sign of abuse. And both in eating and also finances, in those things are definitely weaponized against women all day. And when it comes to breakups and divorce, a lot of it does happen, at least in the United States, over finances anyway. But the holidays are also coming up, and so some of you women out there who watch me, you're going to be working and doing all the things, but then you're also going to be expected to cook, a 10-course Thanksgiving meal and entertain guests. And that's the other thing, for holiday traditions, a lot of women, and again, if this is a labor of love and you love doing it, then this doesn't apply to you. I'm talking about women who are expected to do this. You're expected to get up and cook all day and serve everybody, and you're often the last person to eat. And so sometimes if you set your food to the side, your plate to the side, somebody, he might eat it, that kind of stuff. But you standing up, and Thanksgiving meals, a truly elaborate one, is going to take a couple, 2 to 3 days to prepare, with cooking a big turkey and things like that. So be mindful of that. But food and things like that can certainly be weaponized.